February 2nd, 2023. Matsu's first cable fails near a Chinese fishing vessel. 6 days later, the remaining cable fails near a Chinese freighter. 2 vessels, 2 cables, 6 days. For most places, that would be a technical outage. For Matsu, it was the island's main connection to Taiwan dropping away under the sea. If the objective was to isolate the island without triggering a military response, proof was the one thing the operation could not afford to leave behind. Matsu is not just a dot off Taiwan. It is a Taiwanese county sitting almost inside China's coastline. Taiwan's main island lies more than 100 miles away. Parts of Matsu sit only a few miles from China's coast. Dongyan faces Fujian across a narrow strip of water. That geography matters because Taiwan's military plans to forward deploy HIMARS and ATACMS to Dongyan and Penghu. From Dongyan, Chinese coastal bases would fall within range. The old U.S.-Taiwan Defense Treaty named Taiwan and the Pescadores, not Kinmen or Matsu. The Taiwan Relations Act promises arms and concern, not an automatic military response. So a crisis at Matsu would arrive before the legal answers get. Taipei would have to contest the pressure, reinforce across open water, or let the first move stand. The island did not go completely dark. That is what made the outage stranger. Phones still worked in places. Messages still moved, but the main cables were gone, and the emergency microwave link was thin. A text message could take 15 or 20 minutes to get through. People struggled with ordinary tasks, paying electricity bills, arranging medical appointments, receiving or tracking packages. Some visitors were warned that reliable internet would not be available. County Magistrate Wang Chengming became the official face of the disruption. Chen Yulin, who ran a bed and breakfast, became its civilian face. The island was open, but its connection was not. The repair problem was blunt. Taiwan owned no dedicated ocean-going cable repair ship. It had to wait for a shared international vessel, stretching restoration into weeks. That wait turned an outage into a measurement. How long could Matsu function on backup links? How quickly could Taiwan restore capacity? When would the story become a national crisis? The answer was visible from the outside. Matsu stayed degraded for nearly 50 days before normal high-capacity service returned. The story reached international headlines, and stopped there. No visible sanctions, joint patrol, or allied crisis response followed. Serious disruption occurred, without a visible international escalation. Civilian vessels offered China something warships cannot: the ability to create military effects while forcing the target to argue about whether an attack occurred at all. The Matsu ships were never identified as militia vessels, but the method was already familiar. In 2025, a Taiwan court convicted the Chinese captain of the Togolese-flagged Hongtai 58 for damaging a cable off Penghu. Investigators had evidence Matsu lacked: an electronic chart showing the cable area, a restricted zone, and an anchor track that matched the damage. The court convicted one captain, not the Chinese state. In the Baltic, China acknowledged that one of its vessels caused the damage, but insisted the anchor had been lost in a storm. None of those later cases proves what happened at Matsu. They show why an anchor, a charted cable, and a dried path can become a weapon before anyone agrees on the name. Small islands can force large decisions. The Pentagon's 2024 China Military Power Report puts it plainly. A PLA invasion of a medium-sized, better-defended island, such as Matsu or Kinmen, is within the PLA's capabilities. Such an invasion would demonstrate military capability and political resolve while achieving territorial gain and showing some restraint. But the report says it would carry significant, possibly prohibitive political risk because it could galvanize pro-independence sentiment in Taiwan and generate powerful international opposition. That is why pressure below invasion matters. AIS analysis found Chinese Coast Guard ships entering restricted and prohibited waters around Kinmen and Matsu an average of about 13 times a week in 2024, more than triple the unusually quiet rate in 2022. During an October 2024 blockade exercise, Chinese cutters entered restricted waters around Matsu itself. These are state law enforcement vessels, not fishing boats. Each entry asks Taipei the same question again. Taipei must either contest every incursion and risk escalation, or watch repeated patrols become the new normal. Taiwan did not simply wait for the next break. It expanded microwave capacity. It added satellite terminals, including OneWeb, increased patrols and monitoring around critical cables, toughened sabotage penalties, and improved access to international repair fleets. When both main Matsu links were down again in January 2025, expanded microwave capacity kept phones and internet working, with satellite terminals standing behind it as another emergency layer. That was real progress. It also taught the next lesson. The next attempt would not need to copy the last one. It could cut both routes together, interfere with the backup link, or flood the island with false reports, while engineers tried to determine what had failed. This is the cat and mouse problem. Each fix protects the island, and each fix reveals what the next move would have to work around. Start with the water itself. These are busy lanes, full of fishing gear and anchors, and Matsu had suffered repeated cable trouble before. Taiwan could connect each failure to nearby Chinese vessel activity. What it could not establish was intent or command. In gray zone conflict, that uncertainty is not incidental, it is operational protection. Whether Beijing ordered the disruption or simply learned from it, the result was the same. Taiwan revealed its response, and China paid no visible price. The island showed how long repairs took, what bandwidth the backups could carry, how officials spoke before proof arrived, and how far allies went in public. It exposed information a military planner would value. Every useful answer was visible. The only unanswered question was whether the lesson had been requested in advance. In the gray zone, uncertainty does not prevent an operation from succeeding. Sometimes uncertainty is the operation.